This little S10, did a video on it the other day. I'll show a backup picture here in a minute. The rims were super rusty, and I just sanded them up, painted them black, got the chrome, and I was looking around for the cab covers, and they have the corner plates. I couldn't find them like they used to have, so I just took an old license plate and self-tapping screws that I had laying around, and I cut the license plate in half, so I used half here and half on the other side. It has just a small rust hole here, not big. I put a little caulking in there to keep the water from getting in there. It'll keep some of the dirt and dust and what do they call it? Cheek air. If the truck was any more rattier, I would just turn the plate around the other way so you could actually see the the license plate if it was rattier. But it's kind of a nice little truck, so I just put the plate on the outside, the chrome. Here's the Chevy I've been working on, still waiting on the motor. 8 weeks, going on 8 weeks waiting for the motor. Got the tranny covered up, the old motor ready to go, out of here. I was going to ask some of you guys a question. This is the pulley that goes on the harmonic balancer down below. My old man would have known everything that I need to know, but he's not around anymore. So, see that weight on the side of this pulley? Since the harmonic balancer has a pulley on it, and I know some of these that you can buy aftermarket don't have weights on them. Did they do that because it has 3 holes for weight? Just a question. Does anybody know? The harmonic balancer has a weight, balance built into it to keep the motor. But why would they put a weight? This is factory, I believe. I just put the chrome paint on them, the cross member, the alternator cover, cross member, and alternator bracket, and the other pulley for the water pump. And I noticed the paint, the chrome paint was a little tender, It took a while for it to dry. So after it dried, I hit it with a gloss coat, a gloss paint to really give it a good finish. But that chrome paint ain't too bad. You put it up next to chrome. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's shiny. Better than the black one, I'm thinking. It's the rear end. I got it all cleaned up, changed the seals in it. It's a 78 rear end and a 75 Chevy. So for some reason they put a different rear end in here. And where I'm at, it's not that big of a deal. But I was cleaning the tranny up, and there's a weld right here. You can see there's a little hole in the rust belt. That'd probably give you guys some problems. So I'm probably could have it tack welded or just put something in there. I didn't see no daylight when I took the cover off to look in there. So you could even put JB weld on there or something. Weld it, but keep water out of there, I'd imagine. But in the rust belt, I think that'd give you guys some issues. So once in a while, maybe the grease staying on it might be a good thing. But it's kind of cool seeing the numbers on it, And I just use a little bit of gasoline. Make sure you don't have any spark around, but a steel brush. And then I come back and scuff it with sandpaper. And I usually throw a coat on it, and then I sand it again. Give it a drink of paint, sand it again, take the roughness off, and then give it a couple more coats. But this whole thing was just covered in grease from in the past. I mean, these holes were all full of just grease. So you can never tell if you're leaking or not because it's so dirty. You can see in the past where she was throwing stuff up on the bed of the, and the rust down here is pretty much just little surface rust. So I'll slowly scuff it off with a steel brush and hit it with the those new paint cans that shoot really wide. If I had to do this with a regular paint can, I wouldn't do it. But since those new paint cans shoot like, I think it's 18 inches, like super something. But, so I'll be doing a little bit of that. You can see she's not real bad. I've got most of that up there painted, ready to go. Man, I'm so anxious to get the turning wrenches on this thing. I want that motor bad. You can see I chromed the back wall there, the chrome paint. Get some more light back there so you can actually see when you're working on stuff. Distributor. If your gasket goes bad in your distributor, it starts throwing oil on that wall, you'll know that your gasket's shot. I just thought I'd try it out, something different. But she's not too rusty either. She's got a few little spot there on the fender. I think I can sand that out really good. Fill it a little bit. But this one spot over here is going to have to be cut. I've never done that before, cutting it out, replacing it. But I'm going to learn. That's the one spot on the truck that's just, ugh. But it's pretty damn good for as old as it is. I've been painting up under the fender wells a little bit. You can see a little bit of on the frame there. Scuff it off, put some new brakes, shocks on it. I mean, I'm going to. In the past, I put 3/4 ton brakes on a 1/2 ton truck. And here in Idaho, I like ground clearance. Sometimes you got to run over trees if you're off the road. Even on a gravel road, you'll come across the tree line in the road, and you either got to cut it, pull it, or run over it. So I won't be lowering this thing at all. I'll probably look into what the brackets are on these 3/4 ton and the weight, and see if it's, I've done it before. I had to spread this bracket out down here a little bit. Spread the bracket out just a hair to get the 3/4 ton in on a 1/2 ton. And I'll probably do it with this one too. You can see the ground clearance on it. She's not low. I got all-terrain tires. And I have chains for it. You know, sometimes you get in an area where you don't really need a 4-wheel drive. If you got a good set of chains, you can get a lot of places. And if I have to, I might even hide a winch underneath the front on the frame down there, because it's not a 4-wheel drive. So a person could hide a winch up here on the frame. Build a bracket between these two cross members in the front. Mount your winch down and still be as high as your lowest point. Put a winch on here, and if you did get stuck, most people wouldn't even know you had a winch on it. You can pull yourself out. I do like 2-wheel drives just because 4-wheel drives, you got more stuff to maintenance, you know, more work, U-joints and just axles and everything else. Less is more. Less moving parts is more. That's why I didn't throw a LS in here, or a new motor, a new Chevy with all the sensors and coils, and no thanks. I like to keep it simple, and they're fun to work on. When they start getting into LS, it's no longer fun with all the electronics, I think, personally. But man, I am anxiously waiting on that motor. One thing I see I gotta paint is probably the power steering pump. I'll have to clean that up really good though. carbon choke cleaner to get the oil off of it so the paint will stick. Alright, keep you updated. Comment down below on that pulley if anybody has the answer to that. Thanks.